Good morning, traders. We're in what they call a fast market. So get ready. Let's get it started. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. And to make things better, I'm in a big trade right now. You guys can see it. A couple green bars coming in here. We'll see. Will this trade turn out green or not? I've been trying to get this TBIO. Ooh, giving you guys the insight, of course, really quickly. But let's take a look at what's going on in the market right now. We need to watch because we're going to get action right now that's coming in. So take a look out there. We'll get to the playbook. We'll take a look at some of that. But right now we're getting core PCE. We got durable goods coming in here. So let's take a look at what's coming in and what it got here. So first up, we'll get, of course, let's get some Benzinga Pros up here. Let's talk about what's going on here. I'm seeing that the first number is a PCE number, right? We got the PCE to come in here. Let me actually close this a little bit and scoot this over so I can read it a little bit better here. There we go. Looking a lot better now. All right. So we got PCE at 2.8 versus a 2.8 estimate right on the dot. Initial jobless claims are a big watch because that's going to give a sign that we are getting that unemployment spike. We got 218 versus 224, 222 prior. A good number there. GDP number coming in at plus 3% versus a plus 3% estimate. Very good numbers overall. And then we look at durable good orders month over month at 0 versus a negative expectation prior being at 9.9. So good action there on the numbers coming in. And if I look at continuous jobless claims at 1.834, it was at 1.82. So yes, jobless claims, a little spike there. Nothing major, nothing vast that I think is going to cause quick downside action here. We'll see how the market reacts. I'm watching it right now. I can see the Qs have been going up. And of course, we got some good conversation out of China. So let's get to today's playbook. We can take a look at the action in just a second here. I'll be taking a look at what's going on. I'm looking all around because at the end of the day, I got a big trade on right now. So we might just get right to the trading action of the show today, as we got a lot to take a look at today. All right, guys, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the action here in the overall market off of this number. So let's go to that. And you guys can see the trade that I have on right now. Look at the SPY right now. It has gotten a gap up in the morning and now continuing to the upside. That number just gave us a little shake to the downside, but here it is. Now you're seeing that upside push. I'm going to be looking to see if other stocks can push off of this. And I think that today is a really good outlook for a stock that I was just mentioning just yesterday. Let's get to the playbook. Let's talk about what's moving out there. I'm excited for the day. The question is, are you guys? Let me know in the chat. Who's ready to rock and roll? It's stock and roll here. Let's get to the action. Trade the pool. All right, first up, let's take a look into the action here and see what's going on the playbook. We'll take a look at what's happening. First stock I want to look at to see is what's going to happen with Meta today, as I'll be watching this stock very closely to see if it starts to turn around. I talked about this yesterday. Will it make a turnaround? Big levels to watch today. Rejecting the 580s. Talked about how we could maybe make a run to 580s, then start rejecting that. Talked about that yesterday. A new high, and then starts to go like kind of a blow off top. I'll look to see if we make a move towards that right out the gates. Can we get a blow off top going in like 582s, 584s, and then right back through that 580s? Meta, definitely something to talk about. We'll talk about a lot about Meta today. So stay towards the show. We got a lot to talk about at yesterday's event. And you guys, I want to hear what you guys think out there of the new products. So if you haven't checked them out, maybe check them out right now before they open so that we can talk about them during the show. Let's get to the second one here on the playbook. We'll take a look at DRIP, as of course, we're getting some oil news out there, and it's not good, right? It's at least not good for the, let's say, the bulls in oil, as we were starting to look to see what would happen. Take a look here at the chart. drip already getting a little bit of a push. I'm actually looking for this to come back down towards the 11.25 and then take off towards 12 later today. But look at XOM. Look how that's coming down there. USO is another way to take a look at this. And this is all about, of course, Saudi production being increased. And they're saying that they're no longer trying to hold towards that $100 a barrel, that they're going to go ahead and pump. So that means that oil could be heading down into the lower 60s, and something to definitely keep a watch out. And that could affect other trades, right? With cheaper oil, what could get a nice lift? Well, that plays into play number 3. So with cheaper oil, the airlines get super excited because they're looking at this as a way to go ahead and maybe lower some prices and spur some growth, right? So we'll see what happens with this. If it really starts to make a move, I'll be watching American Airlines. I was watching it yesterday. You guys know I got stopped out on this as it came back down through the 11.05, but looking to see what would happen today. And look at it. It's already reacting. There's it towards the 1130s. Look at the daily chart. Already getting towards that daily resistance that I was watching. And now we got the lift off, right? UAL up there to 55. You got Love with a good mention out there. This is going to help it with the oil conversation. So there you guys have it. Look at Love takeoff there, guys. After yesterday's takedown at the end of the day, look at that. Right back up. And that's how they do it to you guys a lot of the time. So we'll look to see if these can continue. I think they still have an ability to move. And you can also look to see if RCL can make a move back today, right? It pulled back. Look where it's at already, 180. Why? Because the cruise lines also use a lot of oil, and cheaper oil is going to be good for them. Some of these cruise lines, of course, are running on natural gas. That's something also to keep a lookout for. But overall, good action here in the playbook today. We'll definitely take a look at what's going on in the market. And we got a lot to talk about today. So let's get to the action. We'll go ahead now and shift over to the Sunrise Report. We'll take a look at some of the news that's out there right now. But really, we just got to watch the stock action here to see if we're going to continue rising. Now I'm seeing the SPY and the Qs trickle down a little bit here. So we'll keep an eye out to it and see what's going on in the market. All right, let's get back to the market. Let's take a look here and what's going on. And you guys can see I'm down a little bit there in that TBIO. And it's hard, right? Because I'm taking this trade at the same time while trying to present for you guys. So I'll be watching it. We'll see what happens with that one. A little part of me is like maybe downsize a little bit, but I'm looking for a shot above 5. Going towards 6. I'll take a shot on that one, guys. We'll talk a little bit about it. The SPY, though, trickling right back towards that number where we got it at the 830 spot. So keep your eyes on that action. We'll be watching to see what happens there. I'm just going to raise this down so that we don't focus too much on the trade. Focus on the market action right now. We'll be back to the trade. I'll play it out. I'm definitely watching it a little bit on my corner of my eye. Let's get to the action. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. First up, we need to talk about, of course, today's numbers. Numbers are definitely going to be always a focus, right? Well, take a look at that action. It's not looking like the numbers were great. So for the reaction to be to the downside, that's a little concerning. So be careful today, guys. I'm still on alert for big down red day in September, even though September has been good. Let's take a look at Micron. Micron, great numbers, right? Already up there now towards 111. Is this the best that we'll get for Micron today? I think so. EPS here at $1.18 versus $1.13. Revenues at $7.75 billion versus $7.63 billion expected. Micron sees Q1 revenues at $8.7 billion plus or minus $200 million. Adjusted EPS between $1.66 to $1.82. CEO highlighted its 93% year-over-year revenue growth driven by strong AI demand and record NAND sales, forecasting record revenues and improved profitability in fiscal 2025. I think that you will see, of course, a decent kind of conversation going with these stocks into 25. I don't see the tech names getting wrecked. But at some point, that demand for these AIs is going to go away. That's where I get concerned. Right now, it's not the time to get concerned about tech names. I think you're still looking at the upside in these names, and you still have potential to invest in them, as they still should get revenues going into 25 for AI. But at some point, what's going to happen is There's going to need to be a new product like coming out, because if it's just the chips and the infrastructure for AI, at some point that demand isn't going to be the same. But let's keep a watch to see what happens on the action today. Micron definitely getting a nice little bounce back. It's up there towards the 110. Could go right back below that 110 today. So that's a price definitely on the downside to be a little bit concerned about. And you are extended here. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a pullback. Let's keep a watch on the action out there. Let's go to the next one here. We'll go to Meta, of course, and we'll be talking all about what happened in Meta yesterday. But take a look at the action this morning. You can see you're up on that. Keep hitting that 180 and kind of turning around. Of course, Meta unveiled key new products, including the Quest 3 SVR headset priced at $299. You guys heard it right here on Trade the Pool before the event. And how? Because Money Mitch keeps a watch on what? The rumors out there. Buy the rumors, sell the news. Money Mitch was here talking about how this was the exact product that was going to be revealed. Now, there was one product that caught Money Mitch by surprise, and I've heard about this product. I didn't think it was going to be released on this event, but the Orion AR glasses and prototype. This is where the gold is here in this event. It's not the Quest 3 SVR. Everyone's reacting to the Orion AR glasses. So if you haven't taken a look at that, I would definitely take a look at it and start to think about what this could mean in the future, right? The AR glasses represent Zuckerberg's long-term vision for a neural signal controlled lightweight AR glasses. This is, my friends, the beginning of the metaverse. So pay attention to that. I think this is something to watch in the long run. Of course, Meta's going to get a little bit of a pullback, but remember, why'd they change their name in the first place? Meta doesn't mean meta. It means metaverse. And to get into the metaverse, I think that we need products like this AR glasses that could combine the real world with augmented reality, right? And so that's what I think is important here, right? So we'll see what happens with this action, and it's something to talk about. We'll talk about it during the show. There's some really cool information to give here. But let's get out of Meta, and you can see here on the 15-minute how the MAC is starting to cross. That's a concerning sign. It could just drop right back down, right out the gates. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's get out of Meta. Let's go to the next one. We'll talk a little bit about Love as they put out some news, and you can see how they're going up already with the oil news. But Love already there to the 30.08, and they gave information that their Q3 revenue forecast announced a $2.5 billion in share buyback. CEO Bob Jordan is leading changes to the airline's half-century-old model. At least that's what Elliott is trying to tell you, that they're changing a half-century-old model, right? That's how they're going to try to pitch it, right? Leading changes to the airline's model here, including assigned and extra legroom seats to boost revenue while fending off activist investor pressure from Elliott Investment Management. I think they're going to still get the pressure from Elliott. Elliott's going to run the show here. They'll turn this thing around at some point because they're going to be focused on making money, right? Only making money. The customer service days of Southwest Airlines are behind them. Now it's all about profitability. So I see Love slowly but surely becoming like a Spirit or a Frontier, where people complain about them, but the truth is they're cheaper. So they go on it, right? So we'll see what happens here. Now let's take a look at China. China is up big, guys, big. And we were talking about this on Monday, that the stimulus could be coming in for China names. And look at the action that happened off of that. Now, these stocks are just ripping through the moon. And it's hard to come after these, but I did see some conversation that says that we still got potential moves for the upside, right? China stocks are jumping here. You can take a look at the FXI. You can take a look at the yin. You can take a look at a lot of names out there. But one thing to mention is that if you take a look at the measured moves when China has done this, given those stimulus, this is only about half of the move, at least statistically speaking. Now we'll be watching to see if we can get some pullbacks that actually make sense. Like yesterday, it did make sense, but I was looking for a little bit more of a gap fill. It didn't really do anything in the intraday. So let's see if we can get an action like we got here. right? So on this day, we got nice action where it was gapped up and it just continued to go higher. It pulled back to the support and then took off. So we'll see what happens. Yen is already up a significant amount this morning. So we'll take a look to see if this can pull back. But remember, PDD was one that I mentioned really quickly because it was a favorite. And it's an actual really good stock in China. Of course, Biden made those comments that caused this stock to just drop like a tank. But look how it's right back up and almost filling that gap. So, and don't forget, this is a strategy that my man Beginner Trades talks about all the time. I don't know if he's tuning in. He's probably doing his own show right now. But definitely, this is a nice strategy. Big down gaps, trying to fill the gap like you got in Nike, right? He played that one, right? The big down gap coming right back, right? You can do it in Ulta. Ulta was very similar, that I expect the same thing to happen, right? Down gaps coming right back and filling, right? So eventually I could see this down gap filling. And you guys can take a look at a bunch of these down gaps to fill. I see these all the time in FedEx, and we've talking about this the other day. Will the FedEx one close? It could close right back. So I think you keep a watch on these, and this is a strategy that I definitely tell you guys to at least look into to see if it's up your alley. All right, let's keep going, guys. That's going to do it for, of course, the Sunrise Report. Let's get to the live trading action. I got to go looking at my trade. I'm in the red here, guys, and it's a tough one here today because I've been green on this multiple times and probably should have cut out break even at this point. Let's talk a little bit about it. Let's get to the live trading action. And you guys out there, let me know, what are you guys trading today? What's up on your radar? We'll definitely add it to the watch list. I can set some alerts if you're looking for them, but let's start the countdown and get to it. You guys know where you're at. It's straight to pool. Let's get it started. Hugo wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What up out there, traders? How we doing? Let's get to the show. You guys know where you're at. It's Money Mitch, of course, ready to get into this market. And I'll tell you guys right now, man, it's been a tough one this week, guys. I have really taken a step back in, of course, the size up experience. I knew that I would run into a wall at some point. Now I've hit that wall, right? I'm definitely in a red week, and that's tough to deal with, right? So right now I'm down about 700 for the week, just to give you guys perspective, right? I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. Now the question is, can I bounce back for the week, right? And a lot of times we try to make this back in one day. So that's not the key here. The idea is to stay with the same risk to return. It hasn't been working out, but that doesn't mean that it can't turn, right? Like I always talk about, in trading, it's called waves, and you're going to have waves, right? So right now, I'm in a little bit of a down wave after about 6 to 7 weeks on the up move, right? So you're always going to battle and get hit. Now the question is, can you control it and stay in control, right? Staying in the right risk to return is going to keep us going in the right direction. Of course, when you size up, this is going to be a little bit of a battle. Some of your profits that you're viewing and in a smaller size could go and vanish quickly. So you can't get frustrated by what's going on. You just have to know what your execution level is being like. Are you struggling on execution? Because if that's happening, slow it down. Hit the brake pedal again. But if you're taking great trade setups and great entries, then you can keep it going and see what happens, right? Just wanted to start that because I always try to give you guys experience knowledge from what I'm going through, right? Because that can really benefit you guys, and you guys can learn from the ups and downs of trading, especially when you start to size up. I talk about this all the time. So right now in the size up game, I'm in survivor mode, not even in the little green to big green, right? That's what I talk about, right? So there's always sizing, right? And there's levels, right? When you're in the thriving stage. I was just in the thriving stage, but at a smaller size. As I sized up, that thriving stage went back to more survivor stage. We need to find a way to get back to that thriving stage with the bigger sizing, right? Because that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to make bigger gains. The way you do that is you start to focus and try to find, how do we deal with the bigger sizing? Do we need to be getting out more break even, things like that, and taking more trades? Really, more tickets could be the way. Only one way to find out, really. You got to trade it. So let's get to the market. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my positions that I'm in, and we'll take a look at the setups that are out there in the market today. All right, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and shrink this down. Oh my God, double Mitches. Oh no, you guys didn't even see that. At least you guys didn't see double Mitches. Holy moly, I'm taking over that screen over there. All right, let's go ahead. Let me put this up here. All right, there you guys have it. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the action right now. And I'm in TBIO, guys. I got a big amount of shares here, guys. I've been trying to step up to the plate and stay with the bigger sizing. So here it is, guys. TBIO. I'm long 498 and I got 800 shares. Right now it's at 490s. It's been to that 5 multiple times. I'm looking to see if the MACD can cross over here on the 15-minute. The 5-minute has been crossed for a while now. So looking to see if this can stay crossed on the 5. That's a good outlook. But want this to get through the $5 and go towards the 6. I think this could have potential to get to 6, maybe even a little bit higher. So that's why I'm taking the trade and trying to just stay in the battle. It's hard, though. I'll tell you guys that, because it's been back and forth on this one. There is another name that's been moving this morning, KTTA, and I'll give you guys this one. I actually took an attempted short on this one in the limited account and got a quick stop out. 625 short, 641 out. That was right here on this move. And I was looking to see if we were going to get a breakdown back below towards 6, and it did not break down back below 6. I got out just to make sure that I didn't get the squeeze like it is right now. And it's looking like it wants to get to 7. So KTTA, good name there, that's trying to make a big move. All right, let's get to the next one. Of course, I still got the swing trade on MSOS. We'll be looking to add on this today, especially if we can stay in the green. This is still looking pretty decent. If I look at the hourly or the daily, you can see how we're trying to bunch up here and make a move towards the high here towards 760. Today's that day where I'll look to see us go back to the 9 EMA. Maybe a slight cut underneath that 697 towards like 690s, but should kind of hold that 690s and start making that attempt towards 760. This is a longer term swing that I'd hold for like maybe a couple of weeks, as maybe even a month. As we get closer to November, there's going to be a big vote in Florida for recreational cannabis, and that could affect MSOS. I think what also affected MSOS on the downside yesterday was the action in CGC, because CGC is one of the names that are in MSOS, and this took a hit yesterday. So if anything, I know who runs MSOS. So Dan Aaron's, you might need to get rid of CGC in that thing, man. But hey, to each his own. We'll see what happens there in MSOS. The best breed in these in this ETF, I would have to say, is True Leave, but we'll get out of that conversation. All right, let's get back to, of course, the day trade action. Let's go back to it, guys. Just continuing to watch to see what happens with TBIO. Let's get to Meta. Let's take a look at that action. Still kind of topping up here. Starting to look like a little heavy there, but I'll be looking for that little blow off top to 580s. Yesterday, Morgan Stanley did finally break that 102. It went down all the way towards 101.80s, and which would have been a really great trade for me. I actually ended up not being able to capitalize on Morgan Stanley yesterday and took a hit. And that one's a little frustrating because I picked the right direction and still lost in Morgan Stanley. That's where it gets frustrating, right? That's when I'm not executing the right way. And I need to go ahead and maybe slow it down a little bit on a name like Morgan Stanley. Maybe I'm just going too big too quickly and getting caught, right? That's what can happen. Another thing I've been adding on the breakdowns and looking for that continuous move. But what have we been getting more and more, especially this week, is choppy chop trading. And when you're in the choppy trading, that can happen. When you add on the breakout or the breakdown, you're essentially ruining your average which if you go into a choppy period, could chop you out. And that's what's happening really, guys. So we're getting into choppy markets. So I'm looking for breakout and breakdowns and just not getting them. And that does happen, traders. So what do we need to do? As day traders, always know when to hit the gas pedal and brake pedal. Of course, this week, I'm going to continue trying to battle through the size up game, but something to learn from, right? Last week still was in the green and still sized up, but stayed in the green, right? This week, it's a battle. Vic says, looks like Meta is ready to short. Yeah, that's why I agree with you. It does look like it right now, but that's why I'm going to look for one more pop off, right? So, like, give me that move to 580s, 581s, and give me a wick there. And as it comes back and everyone tries to buy it for the VWAP, that's when I'd be looking at it. All right, let's go. Let's take a look here. I got you. Eli wants to take a look at Uber. All right, we'll take a look at that in par. We'll take a look at Airbnb, Baba. We'll definitely watch that. And we'll take a look at some of the watch lists, right? ARM, Dell, Intel. Intel was hot yesterday. We'll see what happens with that one. Uber staying strong here and continuing to lift. I think this is just riding the wave, riding the momentum. Of course, they had the Waymo mention with Google, and that definitely helped them, right? Because the truth is, if they can get to the point where they have self-driving vehicles, the number one expense for Uber is what? It's people. They have to pay the drivers. If they don't have to pay drivers anymore, they're willing to invest in the self-driving vehicles. Let's just be honest, right? If these companies are really going to take off, Uber and Lyft for that mention, right? If these companies will take it to the next level, it's because robo-taxis actually take part and they take a whole new ball game. Uber could be a big valued company if that were to happen because they'll go ahead and invest in it. They'll make a big debt kind of move and go ahead and get a bunch of these vehicles. I think it's something to watch. It's definitely something that I think has the right area to look at and an area that's sexy, autonomy. It's the truth, right? I mean, we're really close to the robo-taxi day, and you guys see how Tesla's been reacting. I mean, Tesla's pretty strong, and I continue to see that strong until probably like the week of October 10th. So I talked about it here, guys, when it was at the 230s. I wanted to play this as a swing up here towards these levels, towards potentially 270. And I still see 270 in reach. That's 44 points, guys. I just tried to play this too big on the swing account. I should have just given myself a nice range, right? So when we were in here, the stock was trading about, let's say, from 224 to 231, which was about $7. What I needed to do was risk that $7, and that's what I should have been doing, getting it around the 225s, risking about $7 back below the 220s, and that could have kept me in between this kind of chop zone of this week. But boy, oh boy, was that a nice trade that we could have been making really good money. And of course, one that I mentioned here that you guys got to make your own call too, right? I hope that somebody was able to nail this Tesla. And why was this? I talked about this when this ride happened. This was Robo-Taxi ride. This is the next Robo-Taxi ride. And when we started to see this move down, I talked about it, how Elon played a little trick on us and then pushed the date back. That was going to bring Tesla right back down. And it did. Now it's on the takeoff. As we get to the event, I expect another pullback. At that point, it's going to be about determining, is the robo-taxi a true opportunity? And if it is, Tesla could go to new all-time highs. If it isn't, then it could start crashing right back down. Always got to know the scenarios. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is out there. I agree, but we boomers have to think that Baba is a big shopping mall and Uber's biggest taxi company, Airbnb, the biggest hotel chain. I mean, you ain't wrong there, man. It's just how it is, guys. And if you think about it, those are all technology moves, right? All of these three that you're mentioning here are big technology moves. Advancements in technology sometimes ruin the legacy builders if they don't move up, and if they don't take a step up, right? That's the truth. That's what happened. Amazon took the mall's lunch money. That's the truth. And then Uber, what did that do? It took the taxis' money. And Airbnb, what is it doing? It's taking the hotel's money. Got to know the technology moves, guys. That's just what happens. And what is AI going to do? It's going to go and take some things too. So just got to think about that and how you can go ahead and invest on it. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. And I'm also taking a look to see what happens in the VIXI today. Yesterday, of course, I was up like $90 in the limited account and wasn't able to nail that trade as it came right back against me and then stopped me out for $30, right? This got down to 72. I needed it to get to 69. Eventually, I got out at the 83 spot, right? I was short at the 79. I lost about 3 cents on it. 82 is where I got out and lost like $30 on this yesterday. The limited account is right now at what? At 52 in the green. Nothing great, but it's still in the green. Let's keep it going. Let's not wreck that one this week. And if for some reason, let's say I take like a big hit in this TBIO, I might determine that, you know what, this week is not the week for me in this account. I keep getting hit. I'm not finding it today. I'm not finding it yesterday. Didn't find it the day prior. Got to hit the brake pedal and maybe just call it a day and just keep just like waiting for the momentum to come back in. Because like I talk about it, it comes in waves. The down wave, if you hit the brake pedal and you start to downsize and you wait for that wave to come back, you can get through the down waves. Just make sure that the down wave doesn't just completely take you out. And that's what I'm focused on now, right? I'm not letting it completely wreck me. And I just got to keep a watch on it here to see what happens. All right, guys, let's go to TBIO as I'm finally getting a little bit into the green here right before the bell. And I got to continue to watch this because it's a bigger position here. So let's see if we can actually push into the 5 and actually make a move here. We just hit 5 and we come back in an instant back to the 94s. That's not what I want to see. I want to see a nice lift going towards like 520s and 550s. That's what I'm looking for. The only question is, will I get it? 15-minute chart still looking great. Just needs to make the move. It just popped and then it dropped. So not feeling too confident about that one. I'm just staying with it because of the chart. The chart's still looking great. Only question is, will it actually make the move? So at this point, you know, back at 5, you got to consider, do I just take the money and run? That's been there for me multiple times. So I'm either being greedy here or it's going to work out. And I think that the problem here is that the pattern is still really symmetrical, right? The pattern is still holding pretty well here. So that's why I'm staying in it. Definitely should be closer towards a better entry would be at 480 to 470s. That's where it could be in and be comfortable in this position because you're in the green versus slightly red, right? So those are things that I think about, guys. We'll see what happens here. If it does, take the 5. The Qs are moving up higher. That I do see happening right now. Qs are pushing strong. So that could affect the VIXI on the downside. I still am leaving the VIXI alone right now. Apple going higher. NVIDIA looks strong there, and definitely will be continuing to watch to see some lift off today. The SPY is pushing strong, and with that SPY push, be careful with the banks kind of getting that up move too, because I think you will see that, right? Out the gates today, there should be some good green on the tape out there. So be careful out there. We'll see what happens on Micron. But look at Micron trying to continue going here and just got a little spike. That helped the move on the upside. We'll see what happens with Airbnb. You just mentioned it. Made me want to think about it because this one had a big down gap and it's already filled one gap and it's going for the second gap. It's already climbing back there to that 132. We'll see what happens there. How will Hilton perform, right? I'm continuing to watch that. That's been on a little bit of a move to the upside. And AAL already to 1137s, guys. A little frustrated on that because they're just taking it and not giving me the opportunity. But definitely oil kind of making that breakdown. That's why I think you're getting this lift. Some people will say it's the love mention. I don't think it's the love mention. It's all to do with oil out here for these airlines, and it's definitely going to help them. I think you start to take a look at what other areas get affected when oil changes, right? If oil prices are going to come down, you could get some other areas to kind of get a little bit of a spike. And let's see what happens in utilities today. Will that help the utilities continue to push? I'll be looking at it. We'll see what happens there. Watching out there to see if maybe we get some continued upside or another push in the industrial space. Of course, I got stopped out of Pakar yesterday. Doesn't mean that it can't go through 100 today and Deer start going towards 420. So I would keep this one on my radar. Cat had a tough day yesterday, but look, it's already back through the high of Monday and Wednesday. And you heard a good mention from Trump on Caterpillar. I wouldn't get in front of this bad boy. I think this still looks like it wants upside. We'll see what happens there. So Deer definitely in play. Oldies in play here. I'll be watching to see if maybe different industrials start to take off, like Honeywell. This one looks like a gap fill that looks pretty interesting. I'll be watching this gap fill. See if it can maybe just fill right back up here towards, let's say, the 213s. It's not a crazy gap, but still something to look at there in Honeywell. All right, now we're starting to at least get into the 5. Can we hold it here on TBIO, guys? If we can go towards like 525, 540s, I can add and go for the bigger swing. But here it is there, 507, starting to lift. Let's go, TBIO. Let's do a nice little takeoff here and pay me up. All right, guys, now it's going to be how much can we get the momentum to really kick off here? I'm looking at the levels here to see where we run into a little bit of some sizing issues. 505, 507, that's not much sizing there. So we should be able to take it out if we can approach that 507 and 510. And from that level, I'll be looking into the 525s. And that's the area where I saw a lot of turnaround earlier in the day. So right around this pop, we went to 530s, 540s, I think even 539, and then stopped. When we get to that level again, it's going to be important to see what happens there. If we can get to 540s, I'll be watching to see if we just break through towards the 550s and then could run to 6. Let's see what happens here today. There it is, right back at my level, guys, and it just doesn't want to go, guys. Every time it's getting to that breakout level, it's stopping there. 510s hit, it stops. Little part of me is like, man, you're pushing it now. So we'll see what happens here. 909, guys, still hasn't made the move there. It just pulled back. I'm still looking to see if I get that expansion. 5 minutes and 15 minutes MACD have the 5 minute has been crossed. I'm looking for the 15 to cross, but that still hasn't happened. And you're getting this push that could give that big lift, but just not getting that big takeoff. At least not right now. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. Stock, what stock is it? Order entry question. Example, quantity, 1,000 limit, price at $5. SL 520 offset. So I'm at a negative loss. I'm a little confused here in what you posted, Loretta. So you got a limit. Did you get in at 5? Is that what it is? Don't forget, there's the spread, right? So let's say if I'm in at 5, I could sell at the 497, so down about 3 cents in between the spread, right? And so that's one thing to think about all the time, right? So you got to know where it's trading at, right? And a lot of times the net P&L is going to calculate on the last price, not necessarily on the bid and the offer, right? It's the last price that went through. But I'm a little confused on the question. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Maybe try to re-enter it. Maybe I'll figure out what you mean, Loretta. But it seems to me like you're in at 5. And if you're in at 5, you're just slightly in the red right now. We'll see if it starts to get the move higher. All right, we'll see if this can really kind of take off to 5. I'm just waiting here to see if I can get this nice little rip. We'll see what happens, man. It's been a lot of selling here. I don't see too much big buys. I do see like 1,600. Would love to see a nice big buy show up there, but nothing just yet. Apple continuing. Qs continuing up now to 494. So look at the Qs and where we're at now, guys. We're ways away from my danger area of earlier this week, which was at 581.50, the 580 level. And now we're up to 494. What does this mean? All-time highs in reach, guys. So we could be doing a breakout here in going into October. Complete opposite of what seasonality tells us. But that doesn't matter because the truth is nothing is 100% in trading. That's just the way it works, guys. So you just got to keep playing the game. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're in tune with the market. Sometimes you're going to feel like this market just wants to do whatever the hell it wants to do. So, hey, right now is one of those moments where it just wants to do whatever it wants to do. And I'll tell you one thing, we need to keep watch to see what happens because it's going to be wicked on both sides. All right, let's take a look there. KTTA did make the move. All right, 699 looking like it wants to get towards the 7. We'll look to see if it gets through that 7. I didn't place the order. I overlooked the spread. Oh, of course. So you tried to get it in on 5, but then the spread was higher on the offer, so you didn't get filled at 5. Probably canceled that order and then didn't get to fill. That happens too. So a lot of times, if you're trying to get it in, you're going to probably have to push onto the offer. The offer, of course, being on the right-hand side. So let's say like right now, if I wanted to jump into KTTA, it would be buying the 505, not the 503. If I put out 503, I'm not going to get an instant fill. I got to wait for that offer to kind of jump down there, and then I can get that instant fill, right? So we'll see what happens here, guys. I'm up 54 now, looking to see if TBIO can really take off there. It has all the potential to do the takeoff. Now the only question is, does it really take off, right? And I think that that's what we need to really kind of watch now. All the potential, the 15-minute pattern now it's trying to even cross over. So that's all great action. Now it just needs to kind of take off. Let's see what happens here, guys. 800 shares is still pretty big size for me in the pre-market here. So let's see if this wants to just start taking off here. Getting towards the 550s is a big spot watch for me. Let's go, TBIO. And I wouldn't mind TBIO just taking off here in the pre-market, right? Because then that would keep the bulls at the gates on the sideline. 800 shares, got to get ready to get out if I need to, because at this point, it should go. If I need to get out, maybe I just need to get out and reassess, right? So watching it here, guys. It's 9:14. Smash the like. If you guys got a name you guys are looking at, smash that like and let's keep going. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys are seeing in this market. Welcome to it. It's Trade the Bull. And there's one guy out there on Facebook, a Meta. We'll talk a little bit more about Meta coming up. Interesting AR glasses mentioned. We'll be watching the action on that stock out the gates. And I did see a spike in Bitcoin, so keep your eyes on CleanSpark today, guys. I talked about I was looking for a breakout through 10 yesterday. It's trying to make the move right now in the pre-market, so I will be watching this. Let's see what happens there in CleanSpark, what happens in Mara, what happens in Coin. You can see the spike right now, and that's a Bitcoin spike that's causing this. So keep your eyes on it. I saw also yesterday, Cypher moving, Cypher mining. Got a nice day yesterday. This took off back to 412s. One thing that I've heard with this Cypher is that at this point, when it was up there at 8, they were trying to sell it. Could there be some more talks out there? And that's why this is taking off quickly. Something to think about. All right, guys, seeing the cues now starting to head to the downside here. So got to be careful here as you're going to get a little bit of a mixed noise here towards the open. You already got in the lift off, so pullbacks make sense here. We'll look to see if 493s hold out the gates, but strong move on the start action here. 504 is still not making the breakout there in TBIO. I was expecting more of a fast breakout there and still just not getting it. So at this point, got to determine if I'm just going to cut it out. All right, there's 5 again showing up there. It could easily come right back into the 490s here. So just got to pay attention to it here, guys, and see what happens. All right, what's going on out there, traders? How we doing? What are we watching at the gates here? What's your top watch? Any other ones in the small games that you guys are watching? I'm watching TBIO, KTTA. Of course, we talked about Yin. We talked about Micron. Stoxel will be in play. PDD with the China names. But what are you maybe taking a look at that maybe I don't have here? All right, let's keep taking a watch to see what else is out there. I'm watching now Apple, Nvidia starting to come on the downside here. And wouldn't you know it, just when things start looking really bullish, the market tries to tame the bulls on the pullback here. And the VIX's on the up move. It's just how it goes, guys. We're going to get this mixed noise. And we could still have a really bad kind of red day, right? Because we've been getting that nice little lift up in the gaps. So I'm keeping that still in the back of my mind. There's still potential for the big red day, especially in September. All right, we'll see if this kind of goes and makes the next move here on TBIO. It doesn't look good here, as it just can't break through the 510s right now. It seems like the 510s are acting like resistance here. It's hit it once, twice, three. I'm looking for the fourth time to be that time where it breaks. If not, I'm gonna let this go. And if it just takes off right after I get out of it, that's fine. I think at some point you need to go ahead and do what? Risk preservation, right? So I'm in the green here. There's no really risk right now when I'm in the green, but in a second, it could instantly become more of a risk type of trade. And since I'm caught near the top, I got to be careful. I can get out and get back in at the bottom of the chart. That's what makes more sense. Or on the next breakout of TBIO, I can try to join the party then. I'm trying to stay in it because the setup's there for it to run. Only question is, will it run, right? That's where it gets really difficult, guys. All right, 504. Can this really kind of take it? Just go to 550 in a hurry. That's what I want. I want the move to happen here in the pre-market and not in the open, because once it gets to the open, it gives it more potential to try to reclaim some of that volume at the 470s and 480s, right? Because there's definitely buyers probably lined up at the 480s and the 470s. Here it goes for that last attempt here. So you can see this levels here, right here, guys. I'm just looking to see, can we break this area, this little box right here, and get through that level? That's where we're getting that fight through right now, where it just doesn't want to break it, right? And so you got to take a look at the tape. You can see how there's some selling lined up there. It needs to break through that selling, and you want to see that selling show up here on the time and sales. Right now, I have everything showing, but a majority of the times it's 300 shares. All that shares, I leave it to the sidelines. I don't care about those. I just want to see the bigger ones. So filter out by 999. You can hit this little filter sign here on the time and sales. This is such a bonus, guys, because all I care about is the big orders. I don't care about the smaller orders. The smaller orders are nothing to me. That's algorithmic volume where I can't gain an edge. Now, where I can gain an edge is looking at the price action and seeing what's going through there, right? And so that's what I'm looking through. Right now, 504 is hitting there, 3,000 buy. That's interesting. Now I want to see big sizing at 508 showing up on the time and sales. Tried to get up there, hasn't made that attempt into the 510 area. Went to 508 and stopped this time. Looking to see if they can take the 510s. Buy heading on the downside right now, guys. I am seeing a little bit of a pullback right before the open, and that's just how it goes, team. That's how they do it to you. So just be careful out there, traders. We'll see what goes on. Let me catch up some comments in the chat. What's going on out there, traders? Morning, short. What goes up must come down. All right. Pal speaks in 2 minutes. Where's Pal speaking? Where is he speaking? I don't think he's speaking this morning, but maybe he is. Maybe I don't know. And if it is, I don't think it'll be on the economy, because I probably would know. Majority of the times I'm on top of things on that. But hey, you guys let me know what you guys are seeing out there. I'll take a look out there right now. Powell does not disclose monetary policy or economic outlook in brief opening remarks to the New York Fed conference. So yeah, there's not going to be monetary policy or economic outlook mentioned. That's at least what's been given in the news. OPEC, of course, is something definitely keep a watch. That's the oil news that's out there. I just took a look to see what was hitting the tape there. You did see some Powell mentions, but nothing that was really standing out to me there. Stocks that are moving right now, DUO is one that I see moving as of late. I'm watching that one. That one's in the 76-cent spot. Could be a dollar move type of move there. ADD getting a little bit of a lift. Nothing there that I like there. That's a really smaller name. So taking a look to see what else is making a move, especially as of late. If I take a look at what has the most volume today, that's another thing to take a look at. That's SVRE, KTRA, and Hollow. KTTA shows up there, and that just goes to show you that's definitely one to keep a watch on. And looking around, I see Yang showing up there, TBIO, of course, and MLGO on there, but that's nothing. That's a 25-cent stock. I wouldn't pay attention to that. All right, guys, we're still getting closer towards the bell. It's 9:22 here, 9:23 coming up in just 15 seconds here. What will happen towards the open? Open has been strong, or at least the pre-market has been strong, but now we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in the overall market as we're pulling back right here before the open. We'll see what happens there in the SPY. You guys can see the little leak there, and it's not much. It's just a pullback, right? So unless it really breaks those pre-market lows, that's where it'd be a little bit more of a concern. Right now, the strength is staying in the market. All right, definitely we'll be watching the semiconductor space. AVGO and those types of names really lift off of the Micron news and earnings. So keep your watch on semiconductor equipments also. Watch AMAT today. That's one that got a huge lift there. 210 from below 200. That's a nice 6-7% ahead of the action. We could get hourly long pullbacks on these names that had a big lift, right? So look for these gaps to somewhat get played a little bit on the downside first. I'd be watching that. You can use a fib retracement tool. Draw from yesterday's close up to the pre-market action and see where the 50% retracement could be. So let's say a pullback towards 204 makes sense for me on AMAT. If I look at Micron, where's the 50% retracement level? So from yesterday's action to where we are right now, 50% retracement puts it back at 104. If I take a look at the daily chart, 104 would be back down here. And yes, you would shake a little bit of the bulls and the bears, as the bears are running away from Micron right now. And you will have some of those guys that want to cover right out the gates. So that could give it a little bit of a boost. I'll be watching it today. I don't think Micron's really my top watch today, as it's already made the move. And after earnings, a lot of times you get some pullback action. So I'm going to leave that one alone. But I will use it as an indicator, right? And NVIDIA will be an indicator to kind of watch, right? We'll see what happens there. Will we get the lift or not? Right? I think that that's something to watch. NVIDIA's just been on a complete takeoff mode. If NVIDIA goes to 140, yeah, this market's just going to kick it out the water and say, forget everything else out there. We can just continue to climb. So watch that out the gates. Amazon, we talked about this gap to fill, and it's already almost back to 200. Google wanted 200 a while back. Well, let's start to make a move up. Google has not partaken in any of this rally. This is one to watch today, guys, because if we do get another up move, I think finally Google makes a little bit of a push. So watch this one today, guys. I'm going to actually set an alert on Google today. I think that's something to watch there, guys. We'll see what happens in the SPY. SPY is pulling back right now, but taking a look at Google action, and I definitely just want to keep a watch on this and alert ourselves if we start to get a big rip here. So on Google, I'm looking at it right now to see if we can get a move above the 65s, 25s, and really starts to push towards 166. I'll keep it on the radar. All right, guys, we're getting ready for the open here. It's 9:25. I got to go take a second really quickly before the open here. You guys smash the like. I'll be right back, traders. Don't go anywhere. Bell is opening up in just 5 minutes. All right, traders, let's get ready for the open here and see what happens here, guys. I have multiple charts up, so if you guys want to take a look at some of the action, let me know what stocks you guys want on this list. I can always add a couple names here. I know you guys are watching Micron, so let's add a little bit of Micron on here. Where's my mouse go? All right, here we go. Let's put a little Micron here. I'll put Meta in the bottom right. Oh, man, I just looked back at TBIO. It's in the 85s, guys. It was going to hold to like the 90s, but it's already in the 85s. So definitely putting the pressure on me right out the gates here. Going to be watching, see what happens here. 9:30 about to hit, guys. So let's be aware. Let's get ready, guys. Market's coming. And like always, stay safe out there, traders. Let's see what happens. Let's see what I can do today. It's time, traders. Let's go. Let's go. All right, market's open, guys. First action on TBIO is to the upside. Let's see if they take it here. Watching it here, guys. All right, right now it's up into the 90s, but looks like it wants to drop really quickly here. Just got to be careful here. There's the drop into the 80s. Now we're really taking the hit here as it starts to pull back here. We'll look to see if we get removed right back into the 5s here, but definitely getting the pressure on TBIO. Let's see if they refill here in the 80s and could take it right back into the 5s. Here's 490s right back up there. Now it's 496. They're getting it towards the 5 level. Let's see if they want to take the 5 here. 496 showing up. Let's see it. Will they take the 5 here? There we go. Now into the green here. Now I want to look to see if we pop through the 510s. Remember, 510s is like an area where we just could battle, and we're just rejecting multiple times here. We just rejected that 5 again. Back into the 80s. I'm getting hit hard here, guys. What just happened there on TBIO? Holy moly, this could be on a downhole, guys. Look at that, guys. I'm getting hit hard here, guys. This is going to be downhole in just a second here. Oh, man, guys. Wipe out. What the hell just happened there? Oh, my God, guys. That's a hit. I'm out. But boy, oh, boy, what the hell just happened there? Some dark pulling on that $5 because boy, oh boy, it was on the breakout level. Everything looked good technically. Just smacked back down to 450s. Not the way to do it, guys. Not the way to do it. That's a tough one. It was looking so good there, guys. So good. Oh, man, that was something else, man. What the hell just happened there? The SPY just dumped on me. And look at it coming back here. Man, not doing it right, guys. Should have broke even, stopped there at the 498s when it came back to me. I went for the move there towards the 520s, looking for the 510 there for at least a second to show what up towards 510, and I was going to drop it at 490s to stop there. Did not drop the stop, and it came really quickly to 470s there, and definitely not the way to trade it today, guys. I am just having a tough week there, guys, on the size up game. All right, guys, got to leave that account alone today, guys. Down about 318 on that account today, and bad week, guys. Now down to close to $1,000. Had about 3 or 4 weeks in above $1,000, so it's not the end of the world. But man, someone just wiped out that 5 on me on TBIO. To me, that was dark pulling action because it didn't even show up on the tape. It was just literally somebody just hammering that 5. And as soon as they came up there, they hit it hard. And I'm looking at the tape here, and there was nothing there that showed me that at 5, it got shorted big. So it's just how it goes sometimes, guys. Dark pulling action is going to show up on these smaller names. And this is why the smaller names, guys, it just isn't where it's at, man. They make money sometimes, and I've made some money in them. But majority of the times, man, you get this, and it's just an ugly wipeout move. Was too big here. Should have definitely cut it, but man, tough open here, guys. And the SPY is just tumbling down here. Qs are just tumbling. Morgan Stanley could go lower. We'll see what happens today. Definitely seeing that Micron move right back down. That was a fake out. Meta is trying to go up here. We'll see if it starts to come right back down, but it did go down out the gates here. VIX's trying to make a move up, but SPY is not just a complete takedown, but it is down right now. Through the pre-market low. See what happens there if these names can stay strong today, but definitely looking to see if Meta is just a fade right now. All right, guys, might take a swing short on Meta. All right, guys, swing short on Meta here, guys. Swing short. All right, first action to the downside looking good there on Meta as it starts to break here. Right back up to the VWAP. We'll look to see if it goes up towards the 580s, but I got a small position in that, just 20 shares. Right now, just risking about 40 bucks in that. Nothing crazy on that. Just looking at Meta to see if it starts to make the move. Man, that TBIO. And I have a feeling it'll probably come back through that 5, and then this time it'll go ripping through. Look at it. Look at it, guys. This time it'll probably go through. Oh, man, I'm frustrated today, guys. That was just bad execution on my part. Yeah, I'm with you, Rando. I think those are easier. The leverage trades are easier. I try to do it a lot of the times because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what people want to watch. A lot of the traders out there, they want to watch the penny stocks. So I try to come after them, but man, oh man, they just wrecked me today on that one. And the worst part is, it's like, you know, I've been doing so good in the VIXI and nailing that this TBIO, man. And I have a feeling, right? It'll go back to that 5 and it'll be like $6 later today, $7 later today. And then I'll just be like, man, just played it too big, too early. That's where I get caught on these. And look at it. It's already back to 485, almost back to my entry. Micron getting red. So looking to maybe play the VIX on the upside here. Might go after it in the small account and the limited account. All right, little bounce back in the market here. So looking at the Qs here, looking at the SPY to see if we're going to reject VWAP. If we reject VWAP, it could be in a kind of downside day. So I'm looking at the VIXI here as potential trade here for that limited account. And I might step it up here and at least try to trade that limited account and see what happens on that one, right? The other account, I'm not touching it. I'm just going to put it on the sideline. I battled with that one throughout the week. Need to go ahead and take a rest from it, right? And sometimes it's going to happen, right? And so the size up ran into some issues, right? You should stick with regular picks. The truth is, VIX is that, like I tell you guys, you guys, I know a lot of you guys out here that are here every day trade a little bit of the higher quality names, but a lot of the trading action out there, a lot of people want to see these penny stocks get tamed. And maybe I should just not trade them at all. But the truth is that you guys want to see them. A lot of traders want to hear about them. So I try to cover them. I try to tackle them. I just need to stop with the sizing on those. Maybe just put an account towards more penny stocks themselves and only touch penny stocks in that account. Stick to more of a high quality account and then just stick to those names. That's going to be more of that what I normally go after. But hey, it is what it is. TBIO really taking me a hit today. Going to leave that account on the sideline. It's already back at 5. I don't even want to look at it, guys, because the truth is that it's going to have that revenge type feeling. I want to trade it again to the upside. And now it'll probably go to 6, right? That's just the way it works. But hey, I'm going to leave it alone. It is what it is. And we need to keep pushing. All right, we'll see what happens on the VIXY here. If we can get that next move up higher. SPY just rejected here, so looks pretty good here. Now I just got to take the shot if I'm going to go for it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to take the shot here. I'm going to take a little bit to the upside here. I just saw a big order go through there on the downside, selling out 23,000 shares. It could have been a cover there, so definitely stepping up to the plate here. Did I not get to fill here? Come on. Why am I not getting the fill there? Should be able to get 1,000 shares. Sorry, guys. I'm having some order rejections here. I'm trying to work through. What is going on, man? Sorry about that, guys. It's having a little bit of some order rejection here. Trying to work through it. I don't understand why I can't trade it right now. I don't know. I'm a little frustrated because I'm trying to get in it, but I'm not being able to put my order in right now. So trying to figure out what's going on here. All right, so it looks like I'm not the only one having a little bit of some issues here. I'm trying to figure it out, guys, but might have to go back to the real account here, the bigger account, guys. I'm just probably let me see if this one will at least let it get through because I want to take a trade here. The SPY's dropping fast here. Google's coming back to the upside. Now, that's one that I can think about playing, right? If the market's going to come back, I do like the Google on the upside, guys. So Google is looking like it wants to come back here towards the 65s. So if you want to take a look at this one doesn't look too bad here. I talked about it because it's on the sideline and it's been kind of not getting the move, right? And so when that does happen and it stays on the sideline for so long, what happens is that now traders are looking, what can I go after? Apple, Tesla, they're all higher. Nvidia's higher, right? They're all higher. Micron's higher, all higher. Well, Google hasn't gone. So maybe they come after Google today. I feel like that's what's going on Google today. Nice hourly long pullback, holding the 165s, looking for the push above the 165.25s. But something to watch here. If the market's going to come down, I mean, of course, that's just going to drag everything. But, and you guys see it, it's dragging pretty significantly there. All right, guys, just got to take some bets, man. I'm thinking about taking another $100 bet, but on this account, I shouldn't be taking bets anymore. Got to be respectful to my action there. I could go for the VIXY long on like a swing trade. And that's the meta also coming down too. So it's not a bad bet, but SPY looking like it wants another leg down here. Man, I want to jump back into the main account, but 300. I can push it to 400. That's about it. But we have to risk only $100 and see what happens. Might miss this trade just because I'm like back and forth on it. So I'll leave it alone for right now. I'm going to take a look and see what else is out there. Technology is on the upside. Taking a look to see what I can get on that. Technology is up, but everything else is in the red right now. And energy is getting hit the hardest. Of course, we've talked about how oil could take a major hit there. Drip did pull back. Now it's starting to make a move. I'm going to be watching this one. Drip, drip, drip. Pulled back to the 1150s. Now trying to come back for a move towards 12. I think this one's one to watch. I would love to come back towards like 1160 so I can risk off the bottom here. But drip pulled back here. Now starting to make the move. Doesn't look too bad on the hourly. Of course, this already made a move from yesterday's close, which was around that 1150s. So it's using that 1150s as support. 12 is the resistance right now on the upside move. We'll see what happens there in drip. Drip, drip. Chevron on the downside there at the 142.40s, but could kind of be a nice short opportunity as it is bouncing back to hourly resistance is what I'd be watching. And that could actually go back all the way to 144. So doesn't look too bad. XOM is trying to come back also to the hourly resistance. Let's say 114s is what makes sense there for XOM. Exposure limits having some issues. Yeah, I see that right now. I'm trying to get it fixed, but we'll see what happens there. Definitely just watching the action right now. The SPY is just chopping off the bottom right here, and it could bounce back, right? So it washed out all the early bulls, and now it's trying to catch a little bit of some action back to the upside. And look at TBIO back towards 445. What a trap that thing is today, guys. That thing is just trapping somebody, and somebody is on the dark pool action towards 5 and 510. It's just trapping traders, and they definitely stuffed it to them today off of that 5. KTTA also coming right back down. It's down back towards the 680s. It doesn't feel good on that one either. Looks like traps also on the upside, making moves towards the 750s and getting stuffed. Google still holding well. Looks like it's holding that 165. Could be the move towards the upside here. See if I finally got some just trying to see if I can put it in order here. Okay. That order can get put in. All right. See if I can get some Google or something here. SPY looking heavy here now. Nvidia trying to go down here, so could start to see this actually make the move here. VIXI looks good there. Let's see if I can get the 1,000 shares now. It's right on the bottom though, so there's the first action. I'm going to take it, guys. I'm long on here in the smaller account. Got my buying power back in there. It's working, guys. So I got mine there, long there, 93s here. As we start to see the action, looking to see the SPY just collapse here. Micron keep coming down. Nvidia is the one that I see a hard hit to the downside here. That's where I went after it. I saw Nvidia dropping fast towards that 126. Let's see if we can actually get this to move into the 12 spot. That's really what needs to happen on the VIXI. We need to get back towards 12. So Not going to push it too much here. It's just about a 10-cent risk down back towards the 1184s, 1183s. Looking for this to really rock and roll, though, if it can get to 12. The SPY and the Qs are coming down fast here. So that could also add to the swing trade on that meta short. We'll see when it gets back into the green, but looking decent there. Seeing the Qs take down on the downside action here. Are we finally going to get that red day? That day where you can also take a look to see if the defensive stay in and come to the green. So defensive was getting hit hard early on. So XLP is one that I've been thinking about swing trading, and it's starting to make a recovery today. If we really go to a red day, this will be not a bad one to have a little piece of. So I'll be watching to see what happens in this space. And you can also take a look to see what's making a good move on this. So Dollar Tree is one that I definitely watched today. That's a big move there. So that tells me to take a look at some other ones too. DG. So Dollar General, they're moving in the same direction. Looks good there. BJ is looking good there. Target is on the up move. So all names that I'd watch, especially if we're on that continued downside action. So not a bad one to watch there on Target. Can it get to 158? Let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart doesn't look too bad. Catching a little bit of some support here on the 9 EMA, trying to take out the 157.80 high. Could go into the 160 today if it had a really good day. So I'd like pullbacks here to 157 to maybe play off the VWAP on the 15-minute. We'll see what happens there in Target to the upside. All right, I'm seeing the VIXI now towards 95. I'm in the green on that, so just going to battle there. Could also come back into this account here and try to battle and try to go for the VIXI and things like that. I could go for some shorts out there, but I'm staying away from that account today. I'm just going to go play with the limited account and see what I can do with that. VIXI still looking good here, 96 now, starting to make the move. So looking to see if we can get another leg down in the SPY. And the big thing is going to be was watching like NVIDIA, right? And names like that, stronger names. Micron is red right now. We'll look to see if it gets back into the green from the open. But definitely watching the action here. The Qs have been straight down out the gates. Barely any bounces. Straight red candles on the 5. If you do get a green candle, like keep an eye out for that. But right now, it's straight down. Taking a look at Morgan Stanley, of course, because you know how that one is. It's up towards 103.80s actually today. Interesting. Here's that 96 there on the VIXI. Can we get towards the 12? The 12 is the important level to watch to see if we go and get some more continued kind of expansion there. Right now, trying to break to that next level. Let's go, guys. TBIO second target hit on the way down. Hey, get that money, Steph. At least somebody can get that money. More room. I agree. That could be the way, Steph. I was doing better when I was smaller size with them. All right, here's 96. Let's go. Let's see if we get some continued downside action. If the market starts coming back, Google will be one that I'll be watching. Google now 165.18. So that's one that I'd keep a very close eye on as it starts to recover. Could be the one that leads in the higher, like the Mag 7 today. SPY is still on the red side of things right now. Just taking a look at that. It's crazy that MPC is getting a pop on the action today. Valero up big too. This is confusing to me. At least in the oil game. Why is Valero popping 4% on real negative news? It's just going to the daily resistance to probably get shorted off of. This is why it's so important to look at your daily charts, guys, because if you look too much at intraday charts, you can also get wrecked that way. Watching Micron still pretty weak there. Meta pretty weak. Nvidia pretty weak right now. It's right at resistance, so Nvidia could reject today and maybe come back towards like 124. Vixie trying to make that up move. Q's trying to make another leg to the downside here. '97's now approaching on the Vixie. As I get through 12, I'll look for some pullbacks right below 12s to maybe add some sizing in this and take a real shot. SPY and Q just hanging out on the bottom there, guys. It could always reverse right back to the upside, right? It's 9:55 though. Normally by 10, we see that action if it's going to happen here. So really, this next candles, these next like 2 candles are going to be very important. There's an attempt to break down the SPY here. XLF going down now, starting to see the financials drag there. SPY is down there. So looking decent there in the Vixie trade. And also in the Meta trade. So now I'm up good in the Meta trade here, guys. Of course, I'm swing short on that. I'm going to hold it. We'll look to see if we come back up on Meta. I'll be looking to add on this. $576 area that I could maybe take an ad on Meta. I'll let it work right now. Vixie's still looking good in the limited account here for the upside action. SPY made that down attempt and just stopped there. So now on this next 5 minutes, it's going to be very vital that we don't get a move right back to VWAP. You see that sideways consolidation there. It could reverse, right? There's always reversal signals. Let's see what happens here. Does it just make another leg to the downside? Hey there, what's going on out there, guys? Oh, yeah. Some Discord action trying to reach us. See you out there, man. Chop, chop, chop. That's what you're seeing out there. Oh, man, it was a tough opening for me today. But, hey, trying to get through it, guys. Trying to battle. I'm seeing the downside come in, though. And Meta, that was a good short call there on the action. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Down decent there on Meta. Nvidia trying to make an upside move here. That's one to watch. You want to look for upside moves here. Nvidia is trying to push. We know how Nvidia loves to lead the market. If for some reason you get this quick sweep back up towards the top side, Google still looking good off that 165. Holding, trying to make the move, but the market can't help it right now. Q's trying to bottom on this 491. It's going to be a very vital look in just about these next 2 minutes. I always look at 2 minutes before the 5-minute candle ends. You normally start to see the action pick up. Same way on the 15-minute, like minute 13, you start to see the action pick up. Why this happens, I'm not really sure, but the last couple of minutes in each candle, I think are actually more important. Here's that reversal attempt here on the Qs. Let's see if it happens. Definitely got some leak out the gates here, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock now. TBI going long now with small size. Steph, hey, get after it. Wish you the best. All right, we'll see what happens on there. Definitely took the baiting today in that TBIO. Maybe it starts to come back now. KTTA, what's going on with that one? Just rejected 7 again. This one could come crashing back down through the 6. Doesn't look bad even for a short opportunity, but I'm not going to go against that right now as I'm long on the VIXI here, but we'll see what happens on that. Looking around to see if any other smaller names are making a move today. This is one to watch, guys. This is a smaller name that loves to make a rip, and these are small China names. So TAL, definitely one to kind of watch on here. I might take like 100 share position here and just take a little bit of a risk here, but I've seen these make a huge move before. So let's see if I can get 1030s here on the pullback. All right, guys, trying to get the 1030s here. We'll risk off a 10 here for this. There you go. I just grabbed it. This is on the limited account, so I just got to be careful with this one, right? Because this could be a big breakout. Risk to return is nice here. It could be a breakout back up there towards that 11s, and that's what I'm going to watch for. But I'm also got to be careful for the breakdown through 10. That's a $30 risk here. I know at least what my risk to return is, and I'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get another pop here in this China like low float. I'll be honest, this is a B type of stock, but let's see what happens. Where's my man Wisdom? He loves these plays. You know, a little pullback on it already towards the 1020s. That's fine. Want to hold off the kind of like the $9.96, $10 spot. That's about $30, $40 of risk. That's where I want to risk on this name. Micron trying to come back to the upside there. That's a good sign that you are trying to get the market to come back here. But let's see if that holds the move. It needs to get towards like 114 to really look strong. See what happens on this China name, guys. I've seen this one move before, so taking a little bit of a shot there. This 1030 is showing up there. Let's see if we get a quick spike there towards 11. There we go. Started to get the move right now towards the 40s. So looking decent there. Let's see if this really can get a nice pop now. Go towards like 1050s, 1060s. VWAP 1050. That's the next spot. Get towards the VWAP. Let VWAP buyers try to take it. SPY coming right back down on the downside here. So looking to see if we can finally get that break and then really start to get the next move in the VIXI. All right, what's up out there, team? How you guys like it? What's going on? Let me go to the second screen here. Of course, I want to show you guys it. Let's get to it. Sorry, I haven't had the screen up here. There you go. TAL, you guys see this one. TAL, we'll see what happens on this. Look at the setup on this, guys. It's a crazy little setup. This thing popped this morning, but this thing pops and drops all the time. So I've played this one before. You got to know that it pops and drops, but I'm looking for another run to see if it can run there towards the 12. It could be a really nice risk to return type of play. So that's why I'm going after it, team. Here's the 1040s, 1050s should be coming up soon, and I'll be looking to see if that really takes off there. I could look for ads if I wanted to on this, but really, this is a smaller account. I'm not trying to push it too much on the sizing. I'm trying to keep it small, especially on this limited account. See if we can get this run to 11 first, and then it can really take off there towards 12. All right, 1045 now showing up there. 1046, 1048's looking good here for the 1050 run. Need to hit the 1050 and then just take off there. All right, SPY and VIXI trying to make that move now. So I'm going to go ahead and look for that pop towards 12 to add on the VIXI. There's 1198. It's looking good there. Could start to come down here on the SPY. Watching to see that NVIDIA follows the same action that the SPY and the Qs are doing. NVIDIA's up at the top end. Let's see if this goes into 12 first, and then I'll look for the add. I'm looking at the VIXI here on the side, watching this action right there off the 1199s. Looking to see if they take it into the 12, and then it starts to usually get that nice little pop. I've seen the action happen off of that 12. I want to see what happens now. The SPY has the opportunity to really collapse. Let's see what happens here. There you go. That's a nice collapse, guys. I'm going to take a shot here. And it's holding up for a second here. I want to see if NVIDIA follows right now. NVIDIA is still holding up, but guys, that's why I'm on the sideline. That's why I didn't hit the order. Could be a fake out on the downside here. NVIDIA trying to come back for that 127. TAL at the 1050s now, guys. So TAL has that opportunity for that big breakout here. There's 53s on TAL, so looking good there, guys. All right, 1060s coming soon. There we go. Looking good there on that one as it starts to rip. I'm going to look for the push into the 11s, maybe even gets towards 12 today. So let's see how this breaks up and see if we can get a nice little trade here. TL is a little bit harder to go after with bigger sizing, so I'm okay that I didn't go crazy on the sizing here. I'm just trying to make a nice little trade, keep myself going in the right direction. Here's 1060s, guys, 1064s, 1066. So 1067's looking good here on this TAL as it starts to rise here. Looking for the pop of volume too. So we'll see what happens on this action. But now we're really starting to push here. MACD crossing. The volume still not giving me that real takeoff level just yet. I want to see like this 500,000 shares like it showed up here and it didn't make a pop. But that was at $10. So I'm sure there's somebody made a big bet off of 10. It looks good there. Let's see if it comes back to this level like 1130s. That's the next step for me. Hourly, can we go right back towards that high? 1195 is where we were. All right, 1050s. It's not holding here, so just got to be careful. Was expecting it to break out over that VWAP, so got to be careful here on the pullback. VIXI's making the move now into the 12, so that looks good there. SPY looks like it wants to continue to leak here. I'm taking a little bit of a shot here on the VIXI now, guys. Let's see if I have enough buying power for this. I might not have it. Yeah, I don't have enough buying power for both of those trades. Let me see if I can get at least 500 add. There we go. We got a 500 add, guys. So I'm at 1195 here. Going to hold break even on this, but look for the SPY and the Qs to make another leg down here. And I need to see NVIDIA down through that 126 is a good sign that we are collapsing a little bit here. There's still some stocks that are holding up, so that's a little bit concerning. The market is trying to break down, but you guys know how that works out. A lot of the times we get reversals, especially in the recent action. We've gotten a lot of chop. All right, going back to this TAL as it pulls back to the 1040s. Just got to make sure to protect myself on that 1030s. All right, now volume is actually picking up in that TAL. So it has the opportunity here to hold the 1030 support. I'm going to hold towards like 1020s. If it gets to 1020s, I might just take a $10 cut. Was up there just a tiny amount at the 70s. I was up like what, $40. So don't mind risking about $20 here. Was up about half of that just a second ago, or double that. Big level to watch here. Can it reclaim back into that VWAP going towards that 1070s? VIX's looking good at that 12 spot. Now 10 guys, and still no reversal on the market. We've been red pretty much from the open. What's up out there, guys? Duo? I can take a look at Duo. I know I mentioned that earlier. Ooh, we were looking to see if it would do that $1 run, and it did the $1 run. At this point, I think you're pretty much done on this trade, but it was a really nice move already. Nice dollar move. I think you're running into some prior support that acted as resistance around the 110. So next level from here is 162. If you're looking for that next expansion, maybe a pullback below $1, and then later in the day above $1 is what I'd see. Q's coming back a little bit here, looking to see if this TAL really wants to make the move or not. Q's now bouncing a little bit there, guys. Down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3, down 4. It already just made that a continuation breakdown move. Wouldn't want to see it back above the 491.80s. If it does do that, you start to come right back. Looking for another washout below the 490.40 spot. That could be that real takedown spot. Right now, the Q's kind of going in sideways. Starting to slow down a little bit, which is not a good sign. That gives the bulls the opportunity to take it if they want. Could be a leak kind of day, guys. I am still seeing leak out there. Still seeing the leak out there, guys. NVIDIA trying to attempt that wipeout move, and Micron rejected there, so still looks good there on that action. Meta is just getting hit hard, guys, so that's actually looking good on that trade. Don't even want to ruin my entry now because I'm at pretty good entry there on Meta. I'm seeing MSOS go up today, decent amount. We'll see what happens on that one. Still be watching it later in the day for an ad. I do want to add on that one, but has to be at the right spot. Vixie looking like it wants to do that break today. We'll see if we get it. Little part of me is a little frustrated, right? And I'll tell you guys the truth, right? Why am I a little frustrated? Not because of TBIO necessarily, but I should have my main account today. And on a setup like this, I could go long the same way I've been doing and having a nice potential reward. The other day, I did a nice little setup. I had like literally break even for a long time with like 4,000 shares. And that type of move here, let's say if the VIXI goes to 1230, I mean, that's what's going to do it for us, right? As we start to expand in the higher sizing. But going for the limited account here, decent sizing in the limited account though, too. So I'm good with that action as long as just focusing on at least moving forward in the right direction. Maybe it's not in that other account that I sized up this week, but hey, you're always going to have that battle, right? You're always going to run into a little bit of a wall. Now I just need to deal with it. VIXI trying to make the move. It just went to 1201. Let's see if it takes it now. It's all about the kind of the cues right here, and I can show you guys the action here. It does look really bearish. We'll see what happens. But the cues on the 5 minute, you can see it here on the 15, but look at the 5 minute here. And you can see how you're trying to make this move down. You've rejected this move plenty of times here. So will we just continue to see the leak? This is what you call a bear flag, right? It's just getting hit down, and it's just down action right now. There hasn't been even like a real green candle. Like I wouldn't consider this a real green candle. You did bounce, but sideways candle for me. So another rejection candle there. So we'll see what happens. You did get a hammer candy here, and then you got that rejection candle there. So it's like a little bit of a mixed noise right now. Back to the 492s. Yeah, this could get a nice little boost. I think you're just bouncing back and forth right now. You're going to keep trying to find some lower areas to kind of find some buyers. And then it could always happen like it did earlier in the week where you found some buyers, right? So I think it's a little bit of a battle type of day. You just got to keep watching to see if you get a continued leak. And NVIDIA is going to be a good sign, right? NVIDIA still hasn't leaked out. It's holding. So if you want to look at upside, this looks decent. Micron, I'm looking at that to see if it really fades off. It looks like it's going to fade off, but looks and what the reality is two different worlds. Intel on the downside right now. Micron, let's say AVGO, that's actually up above VWAP, so keep your eyes on that one. Not doing too bad right now is AVGO. AMAT is on the pullback towards 209. If you do get the upswing, this can go back to 211. And Google overall just hanging out there, just trying to take the 165, but the market's not helping it. TAL back there towards the 1050s here. Now I got to go ahead and take a look at this. If I want to take an ad, this is the shot to do it right now. All right, what I want to see is this start to go towards like the 1060s, 1070s, and then I'll take the ad and break even on the rest. Let's see what we can get here. TAL, what you gonna do? NVIDIA, what you gonna do? There's some order size going through there as the potential for the move now. Qs look heavy. It hit 490.60. That's a big key level. 490.50s closed down below that. And yeah, you could get that continued leak. Back through 491.40s, you could start working your way right back to the upside. There's the 1058s here on TAL. There's a 60s. Some sizing coming in on the 59s. Looks good here. Where's the VWAP? 1050 still? Yeah, I need a little expansion away from here. Like 1070s first. Q's bouncing there, guys. NVIDIA coming back up. Might have to take the money and run in a little bit, but I need at least 10 cents. So there's 1060s there on TAL. Will they take TAL here? At least like that TAL is trading a 1 cent spread. If this wasn't trading a 1 cent spread, it would be a little bit tough. Because this is a fast mover, but just taking a look at it there, guys. 1058s. We'll look to see if we get a little spike there. I'm looking for that little spike to start coming back towards that 11. There's the VIXI into the 1202 spot there, guys. So maybe we at least could push the limited account in the right direction, get it really close, maybe get 30% of the gains needed for the account, right? I think that, one thing is for certain. Going to get after it. Going to keep battling here, team. That's the only thing I know how to do, is to battle. That's what it's all about. All right, what are you doing out there, traders? What's going on? I know a lot of you guys are tuning in on X. Let's take a little bit of review of the action that's going on right now. Of course, before the market opened, everyone was feeling a little bullish as the market was looking really good and China names were looking really good. Here's TAL already into the 64s, 65s here. So this is the shot here for me to at least take a small ad and try to look for a little bit bigger win. Looking good on the other action. So I'm going to add it, guys. I'll add it 50 shares though. Not a crazy amount. And what I'm going to do here now is really look for this to kind of hold break even, like back towards the 1040s, and I'll get out for like a $5 loss here. Looking for this to push towards the 11 and take off here. Let's see what happens on TAL. Up about 36 here. Now really looking to see what the profit to loss ratio is looking like, right? When we start to get up there into the levels, what's my level that I'm willing to take and take the money and run? Well, 1060s, 1160s, right? That's like up $160 to $180. That's what I want to be making on this account. If I can make that 180s on this TAL, wouldn't be a bad trade there. Let's see what happens as it keeps going through 11. Let's say towards 1120s. I'll start raising the stop loss to make sure that I at least take some profits. There's a VIXI now towards 1204s and looking really good as the Qs try to make this big breakdown here. Now I'm just letting the Qs just tell me if I need to get out, because it's at the point where it looks like it wants to give us another leg on a breakdown here. We'll be watching for it. If it gives me that leg, I can keep holding on and raise a stop loss towards like the 1205 spots eventually on the VIXI. There's 1205, 1206 there on the high there on the VIXI. Looking pretty decent there on VIXI. $12.15s would be a nice $300 gain on this account. That's a pretty good gain there. Remember, the max gain I can get, I think, is 50% of the profits. So I can get up there towards like 400 today. But as it gets towards, like to say, especially towards that 300, I'm going to be looking to maybe just at least secure up there towards the 1205 and at least just kind of grind this higher. That's what I'm looking at right now, guys. Let's see if I can get that grind higher. Up 165 right now. Could take the money and run. So watching really closely to see what happens in the Qs. Might just have to take this money and run here. Let's see if the Qs or the SPY can make another down attempt here. The real one I'm watching is NVIDIA, because NVIDIA hasn't broken to the downside here. And it could still just reverse. And look how Google's trying to come back here. So I'm still feeling like, man, they're still trying to get me out there. So just got to be careful here. We'll see what happens here. Can the SPY make that one more attempt down? One more leg. Let's get it. Let's get it. At this point, break even for sure. Won't lose on this position. Just looking to make some nice gain there. TAL looking good also. So TAL at the kind of the 1070s could take that move at any moment here. I'm going to be focused on the VIXI here, so I got to go put a stop on TAL and just be careful if that comes back against me. I have the position really set up here, so it could just break out here. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to let it come back and hit me and actually be at a loss. So I'm holding it break even right now. If it comes back and gets me, I can always look to re-enter and try to size up into that. But let's go to the VIXI and focus on that, because that's where the real money can be made today. 1207, 1210s now. Now we're talking business here. Now will Nvidia follow it? 1260 50s. I'm looking to see if that can go ahead and take another hit there. But even 1210s, that's 220s right there. So looking really good here on this. Looking to see if I can get the pop into the 215s. I'll take the 300 and run. I'll take the 300 and run. Let's see what happens here, guys. Throwing out there the 223s. Actually, I'll throw out the 226, way away from here. But what I'm trying to do is try to get this up towards the 210s where I can drop the 1205 stop loss and guarantee $150. Nvidia is going to be a big watch for me right now. I'm watching it at that 126.40s, looking for it to drop down, see if it goes towards the 126. If not, it could recover back through 127, and then I'm looking for upside reversal. But there it is, guys. The potential's there. Let's see if Nvidia really just wants to drop through. Meta's been dropping like a rock, back down to 569. And of course, Nvidia holds up a little bit there. So watching the cues as there's balancing off of that 490 20s could just reverse right back. So you always got to keep that in mind. Nvidia is not wanting to do it here. Nvidia could just go red and hit down towards that 126. I feel like we'll be having that pressure down to continue leaking. All right, team, what's going on out there? How we doing out there? Chat, we got a little quiet. It's a tough trading action right now. I know. Trust me, I know. All right, guys, there's 1208 showing up there. Qs and SPY making another attempt down. 126 showing up there. 126.20s on Nvidia. Can we take out the 126 on the downside? Looking to see Micron start to flush down through that 112. 126.12, 126.15 showing up there on Nvidia. It's down there. It could take another leg here. Has the potential. Spreading out by like about 3 or 4 cents here. Really watching this closely to see if we can go through the 490s there. Now we're coming back a little bit. It's a mixed battle, right? The Nvidia didn't go through that 126. That's where I'm watching it. This is the big level right here, guys. So you're just playing off of the lows, looking for that expansion, but we're not getting it right now. And Nvidia is back towards 126.40s, so it's just the big Nvidia battle right now. And I feel like there's a lot of traders watching that, so I'm watching it with them. Here's Micron recovering 112s, but Nvidia is still looking heavy. Come on, come on. Make that move. Let's see what happens here. 1030s, guys. Battle type of day, guys. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, Nvidia making an attempt back towards the lows. The Q's at 490 13s. Can it break the 490s? Back up above the 490 40s. Probably just take the money and run. But looking for this to break the 490s here. Here's 490s. There's an attempt down. Nvidia, will you take out the 126 for me? 126.10s, 126.07, 126.03, 126.01. There she goes. There she goes. Now looking for a pop on the VIXI here. Pop towards 1209 there. Get into the 1212s, and then I'll start to drop this 1205 stop to protect me for any movement back to the upside. There we go. Good action there in Nvidia now towards 125.80s. Take out the low, 125.80, and then we're starting to go through that. and really seeing downside pressure. Downside pressure coming in. There's 125.70s. Looking for Google to break the low. Meta's breaking the low. Now look for Micron to break the 112s. But looking great. Now down to 489.40s there. Should see a nice little pop here towards the 12.15s here in the VIXI in just a second. I'm getting the action for the VIXI to pop. Let's see what happens here. NVIDIA now 125.60s. Looking really good there. I'm stunned that the VIXI's not just taking off here, guys. All right, guys, just got TAL to come back on me, guys. So reversal came back in quick there. So got to see what happens here. I'm taking off all stops and all profits as I'm seeing the down action, but not seeing the up action in the VIXI. That's where it gets confusing to me. So just waiting on the sideline here to see what happens. Back to 1205. Should have taken the high there. A little frustrated on that not taking the high there because got the cues to make the down attempt here. There's more weakness, but the VIXI's pulling back on me. This is a little bit odd, to say the least, right? Could just be a shake here, but man, what happened there? Why am I back at 1205? I should be breaking through the 1210s. At least that's what the action's showing me. So staying on the sideline right now because the cues are not just coming back and taking out the trend line. So I can show you guys that in a second here, but just watching it here as the cues are coming down here. Let me draw this as big as I can here. This same way I'm drawing it on the other chart here that's above my head. So you see how you cut down through here, looking to see if we just reject this level and go to the next move down. There it is. There's that level. I'm just trying to ride the VIXI now. I think about it this way, though, in the other account. If I was taking the sizing that I was going to continue to take and continue to push, I would be fine for the week. This trade right here would have bounced me back for the week. So it goes to just teach me, man. Just got to keep getting after it. It's okay to take the hits. Understand they're going to expand. And then just keep getting after it. This trade right here would have got me back on that account for the week even. So I think that you just got to try to find what works the best and try to find how you size up and deal with that sizing up, right? All right, we'll see if we get the continued leak, but I'm seeing NVIDIA down to 125.40s now. Definitely is leaked out. Google leaked out. Meta's up big on the swing, guys. That's actually looking really good on the swing, guys. Up like 140 on that now. I had that at 575.44. So that outlook today to see it be buy the rumor, sell the news event, exactly what happened there in Meta. So glad to see that happen. I even put that out on my Twitter yesterday as it was happening. So we'll see what happens with that one. Now down a significant amount. And look at the VIXI coming back a little bit here. 1203s. And I see that the market's bouncing a little bit here. So I'm just watching it, seeing if we're going to take another leg here. But man, I felt like the VIXI should be above that towards like 1212s already. At least 1212s, if not 1215s. So that's where it gets difficult, man. I mean, at least in the action, should have seen that start to cut down. So I'm watching it here, guys. At 1204s now, 1202s. And the problem here now is that I can't even take the gain. So I needed the gain at 1205, right? So, but I'm seeing the down action still out there. It's just impressive right now. The action that I'm seeing does not make sense. Qs are going down fast. SPY's going down fast. Now the VIXI doesn't want to move. Oh, man, that's just how it goes sometimes, guys. I honestly, I'm confused. And you guys know for me to be confused, I mean, I got years of experience. That's definitely just how it's trading right now, guys. Just how the trading's going. NVIDIA's down to 125. Like, what's going on? Why not? I have a feeling where I just got to hang out and then it could get that big break. But I mean, it should already have gotten it. Looking to see if Micron cracks that 112. Look at that. Micron cracking that 112. What's up with Morgan Stanley? It's actually up. Man, that's impressive. XLF is still going up there. What just happened in XLF? Something just happened, guys. I don't know what the hell is happening out there, guys. I'm going to go looking into the news. There's something going on. Something fishy's happening. I'm looking out there, guys. I'm going to my Benzinga scanners here, trying to see what's going on in the market, seeing what is happening out here, because it is some mixed noise out there, guys. So looks like Secretary Yellen says it will be necessary to get deficits down to keep interest costs manageable. Inflation remains top Biden administration priority, but it's down considerably. Wages rising, ties with China's have gotten closer and have found constructive ways to discuss differences. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Israel says it will receive a $8.7 billion U.S. aid package to support its ongoing military efforts. Man, probably not what Trump agreed with there, but we'll see what happens with the action. Fed's bar says the Fed exploring liquidity rule tied to uninsured deposits. Whoa. That one could be some news out here, guys. What the hell? Liquidity rule tied to uninsured deposits? That looks to me like a little bit of some bank concerns, but why would the banks get a nice pop on that? Honestly, this is as much of a confusing day as there has been this week. And this week has been confusing. And I've heard it from traders that have 20 years of experience, right? So that just goes to show you guys, it ain't easy out there. I can tell you guys, fully experienced traders that have traded a lot more than probably you and I combined are telling me that it's a hard market out there. It's a hard market right now. And the worst part is it was really, I'm going to say it was trying to be kind of easy earlier in this uncertainty time at first, but now it's really being that hard month, right? So I just got to keep battling. It's been an ugly red week for my other account, but look at this trade now. It's coming back to me. And that's where it gets so difficult because the trade was there, man. The trade was there for it to keep going down. Now the Qs have just bounced the tiniest amount, but the VIX's already back down to 12. And it was up there towards the 1210s, looking like it was going 1220s, if anything, 1230s today. So I was starting to look at it, and it looked great here for the hour resistance break. Now we're going right back towards that hourly resistance pullback level. And so, yeah, it could keep going, but man, I was thinking at least this 1219 would get an approach. If anything, I saw us back up here into the 1230s. So I can show you guys that action right there. Look at the VIXI here, the hourly, right at the hourly resistance. Now it's pulling back there, but was watching it for this candle and really looking for it to come back into this spot here, 1230s, 1250s today. And that could have been a monster win on this limited account. Right now, it's almost back to my entry. It's just ridiculous. And the Qs barely bounced. They barely bounced. They're just at 489, 80s. This just goes to show you guys, this is as choppy as the market as it gets, guys. It's at the point where it's like just bet on whichever one you want now, guys. Look at NVIDIA coming back now. Google's still going to be looking good for that 165 coming back here, guys. So I'd keep an eye out on that trade today. Honestly, after this, like VIXI's stuff, I'll probably be off of it. But like overall, Google's still looking interesting there because it could just still break this hourly long pullback and then just start to make a move to 167 today and kind of lead the action on the comeback if we are making a comeback. The XLF tells me something. There's something going on that maybe we don't even know. There it goes to 45.10s. To me, this should have been a weak look on the XLF, and it's getting a random spike. So SPY right back to 573s. VIXI had the opportunity to make the move again through 12 and doesn't make the move. So it just seems to me like they just chopped us up first hour and a half. Now they're bringing it back. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. It's been difficult trading, that's for sure. All right, now in the red there for my VIXI trade, and now got to consider where the red kind of takeout is, right? Definitely going to go ahead and just set here through the 92s. I just got to get out, and I'll look at this later maybe, but not going to push the losses in this account. Was up 150 there. Maybe just got a little greedy. Should have taken that 150 and ran. It was just looking so good there for me to take the money and run. So that's how it goes sometimes, especially in a choppy market. Like, we had the opportunity there and it just didn't happen. We'll look to see if the legs and the stocks just keep going lower. Nvidia tried to make a move back here and still just hasn't really recovered. That was the one that led me to like kind of the leak. The leak was fast in that Nvidia. We'll look to see if it keeps going down today. It did break that 126, went down to that 125. We'll look to see if we go back to that level. Meta did a hard downside action move, looking like it wants to bounce back a little bit here. So we'll see what happens if Meta starts to bounce back. But man, it's just how it is right now. The SPY and the Qs and the VIXI, if you're not taking that first move, it just seems like we're not getting any type of continuation moves and just getting chopped up. Then we gap overnight, and that's the only way we're making moves in the intraday market. This is how when they start to really kind of mess with traders out there, because right now, if you trade in the intraday, you're trading chop. But if you trade overnight and you're just buying the close on weekdays, that's what's been really good as of late. Just buying the close. Buying the close has been what's been working. And it's ridiculous because the truth is that just shows you sometimes that the institutionals are running things out there and they're making the money in the after hours, buying the close and then selling the open, right? So buying the close, selling the open is exactly what this seems like it's been going on. And it's countless times. And then I was looking to see if we get that continued leak today and just leak. It seems like it's been that day on the Qs. So I'm staying in the VIXI trade. But to tell you the truth, guys, I have no idea which way this is going to go. A lot of times I feel like I have edge. And right now I'm not feeling it. So if anything, need to start hitting the brake pedal, especially on that other account. I'll hit the brake pedal. I'll continue to watch to see what happens in the market and just going to keep battling because that's the only way. And there's always going to be like kind of these mixed situations where you're kind of feeling like you're right on the market. And then now the way that the market's been trading the last, 3-4 days, it's been real chop out there. And I'm sure I'm not the only trader feeling like this during this time. Let me know, like always, guys, hit the comments after the show to let me know how the struggles or maybe the good times are going in trading right now. We'll see what happens on the action. I still got about like 5 or 10 minutes here. Probably wrap it up at like 10:50 or something like that, because it just seems like today's one of those days where there's not much out there. And it's just back and forth. So don't want to just keep try to keep pushing the levels. But right now, kind of mixed noise in what's going on with the VIXI and the market. Market is still down and still hitting some down moves. Like Micron's still going down here. Nvidia is still going down. It's at the 125.40s. Meta is still going down. That just took a new low. Google just broke towards the low. We'll see. Maybe we just continue to leak here. And I just got to hold on this pullback. All right, guys, like always, be safe out there, traders. We'll see what happens out there. Still taking a look into the swing account. That's doing really good with that Meta trade. Now down to 566. So really good trade there as the action just runs away from me. So happy that I went after that Meta short, at least on the swing side of things. Day trading on this should have been the move. Instead of trading that penny name, should have been shorting Meta with some bigger size today and could have had a monster victory. All right, guys, like always, we'll keep battling. Doesn't look bad. I'm still having a nice win on Meta, but it's not a monster win, right? And the big part of that is that it's in the wrong account. It should be in this account, and I'm down big. Why? Went way too big on TBIO today, and could have traded this and got out, break even multiple times. Just was a little greedy, guys, because I was in the green on this at some point today. So the greed, it's been affecting me a little bit in the sizing up period. And that can happen, right? Now I need to go back and get back to what I know best. I'm going to size down a little bit and get back to the consistency. But definitely need to keep watching to see what happens. And a lot of this is reviewing and taking that step, right? I had a good 6 to 7 weeks, and now having that like kind of red week. And that's going to happen too. The key is that it can't be 2 or 3 red weeks, right? And we'll bounce back. That's for sure. All right, let's keep taking a look out there to see what's out there. And the Q's trying to make a new low here. So let's see if they make the new low. I'm going to go to the 5 minute or the 1 minute so I can show you that. We'll go to the 5 minutes because I don't want to go to the 1 minute. Let's see if it breaks this low, this 489, and keeps going down. It looks like it wants to keep going down here, but hey, you never know what's going to happen there. All right, let's see if it does make that next attempt here and it starts to do another leg down here. NVIDIA's down at the 125.15s. Google is making a down attempt here. Meta's going down here. This is such a battle of a day, guys. Look at that now. Double, triple bottom there at that 489.20s here. So that's going to be the look here to see what happens. But like always, they can just bring it back, right? So I think at this point, you just continue to see if it continues to leak. 490s is going to be a major spot to watch for recovery. You just rejected that move twice. So the third time going through that could be the move that brings it back to VWAP. If it doesn't get through that 490s, I think you keep on the leak. And that's what I've been seeing all day today. That would be good for my VIXI trade, but it needs to just continue on the leak. And I thought with this amount of leak towards that 490s, I would at least be at like 1206 on the VIXI. And being near my opening price just tells me that it just might not be the time, right? It just might not be the time. All right, guys, we'll see what happens out there. It's 10:45. I'm ready to head for the door, but I'm hanging out with you guys. You guys out there, what's going on? How we doing in there? We hanging in? Let me know in the chat. The chat went quiet on me. What's up out there, Vic? I think traders are battling with me in the chop. It's been choppy chop, man. Remember the other day this happened too, where we had like the big red hour in the day, and then all of a sudden, boom, we were back through the opening price and we closed green. There's no guarantee that this is the way it's going to go right now. What a battle of a day today, guys. And it's slowed down too, guys. So it slowed down also once we got to like, let's say, what, 10:30? Then we got a little ramp. And then now we've been just going sideways. Looking at the SPY here, looking around. Micron definitely was a nice little, off that 112 was a good look. AMAT down there. Google trying to break through the low here. NVIDIA down towards the 125s. Can it break the 125s and keep coming down here? 124.90s. Meta now towards 565s. That was the trade. That was the one on the downside for sure. I'm just trying to get out. How do you sell? Well, Michael, you hit the sell button. If you're long, you hit sell and the amount. If you're short, like to the short side, and it says short on the side, instead of long, like it says on mine, you need to buy to get out. I hope I answered your question, Michael, because I don't want anybody getting destroyed because they don't know how to get in and out. Russell spiked. I'll keep an eye out on that. Meta now 564. Money Mitch, man. Should have been focused on this trade. Forget your TBIO. up 213 with 20 shares, guys. If I would have 100 shares, what would this be? It would be a $2,000 gain. That's the trade that I should have been going after, and easily could have got 100 shares of this on that break there. Would have been risking about what, like 60, 80 bucks towards the 565s or the 576. But man, that was the trade today, guys. It was the meta short. That's what I should have been focusing on. One thing to keep in mind, right? All right, it keeps putting me back in. I don't know. Well, I'd reach out to my customer service team for sure after that. But man, meta. This was the trade, guys. Just didn't get after it today. And gonna have to learn from it. And really, it's all about me learning from it and knowing that the smaller names are just not where it's at. There's no consistency in those names. TBIO, beautiful setup, and it broke down, right? Beautiful setup. The setup was there, beautiful, for the breakout at 5, and just didn't do it. Should have sold out here at like 910 when we were right at that level near my entry. I was in there big. Should have just cut it down and got out. VIXI back towards like 12. We'll see what happens on that. Can that give me the lift today? I will be taking bets on that. I will be trying to ride this VIXI in, of course, the limited account, trying to ride that up. Try to make 50% of the gain on that, because the way that the market's moving right now, it could be a leak all day long. It's leaking. So I'm looking to see when this next ramp happens in the VIXI, and then back through like 1210s, I might take another ad, right? I'm just going to be watching this to see if I can get a nice little lift off and still see the market just continuing to take down. And that's what's been happening since the beginning of the bell. It's almost 11 now, guys. So crazy day there. Definitely down. We'll see continued the downside action to see how bad it gets today. Recent action, there's only energy that slightly popped for a second, but everything else is in the red. Everything is in the red. Even, I think, the defensive names. Well, defensive starting to push here a little bit. That's probably the area to maybe take a look at. Remember I talked about earlier on, I talked about like Target being an opportunity. Let's see if maybe this can make a little bit of an up move. Dollar General was pushing strong, and that's continued that push. So has Dollar Tree. So those are doing pretty well here today. So there's one thing to keep an eye out for. Got to keep an eye out on that. What about Dole? I know Dole had a recent pullback there. Man, I remember I was playing this back at 13s for the 14 break. This is up there to 1680s. Definitely should have been playing this one. Dole has been a nice little mover. Clorox, another one that has pulled back recently that we were looking for a pop around the 150s. That went all the way up there to 165. So we'll see what happens there on Clorox, staying strong there. Morgan Stanley, actual up move today was really, really something weird. I think it had to do with something of that Fed comment. I'll be watching to see what happens as that expands. Definitely going to watch to see what happens on the comments there. Q's now down to 487.90. So, I mean, if the VIXI doesn't want to move on this, it's never going to move. So, at this point, I'm taking a shot, guys. We'll see what happens. Can I get this a really nice winner here in the VIXI? Yes. So I will take the shot here. Does it work out for me? We don't know, but that's the only thing we can always do is take bets, guys. So I'm going to take a bigger bet here. I just tried to add there. Oof, I don't think I can even add more of that size in there. Let me see if I can get like 200 here. Nope. I'm in with the 1500. I'm solidly in at that point. We'll just watch for the break above the 1210s now for the continuation towards like 1220s on the VIXI. 1220s could be a big win here for me. Let's see if it gets up there towards that level. Really not going to let it get through, like, let's say 1230s. 1230s is way away from the price action right now. So if that would happen, I'd definitely just take the money and run. All right, guys, it's 10:53. We can continue to watch to see if the SPY just continues to break down. NVIDIA's now down to 123.90s. Micron's down. Meta's down to 564. It's just an absolute disaster there in Meta. And where can you guys find out about these plays, right? Because I put out these plays not just once. I put them out all the time, guys, and I want you guys to keep up with the action. So definitely check me out on Twitter if you guys don't already. I'll give you guys my login here so that you guys can give me a nice little follow. And we put these out on, of course, Trade the Pools Twitter every single day. We put it out today on the playbook. The playbook was dead on today. Long drip was looking at oil prices. That should have been a long there. But take a look here, guys. Smash the like. Check that out. Definitely give Trade the Pool a follow. Give me a follow if you guys want to follow me on X. We'll see how this continues to work here. Throwing up the links. Going to go ahead and wrap it up. And like always, take a look into our limited account. This is what I'm trading with right now. I could make probably close to 50% the gain right now, right? So we'll see what happens, man. Can I get that push there? This is a really good level, 1350s. We'll see what happens there. Definitely want to keep getting after it, but doesn't look bad at all here. We'll look to see if we can catch up to that 1350s. Maybe you can make close to half the gains already this week. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm trying to get after it and get this funded account. The question is, are you out there? You're going to get the funded account, the limited account. Let me know how you guys are doing out there with that. I know that there's a lot of traders that took the challenge on. Q's now down to 487. Looking good here, guys. So I'm actually going to go over to my other account here and see if I can do something with the UVIX or something. Because at this point, I got to take a little bit of a shot here to bounce back here. Let's take a look here. UVIX, 2,000 shares here. All right, guys, taking a little bit on the UVIX side too. So this is in the main account here. I kind of had to take a shot there. We'll see what happens with this one, if it can make the move, but taking at least a decent size here to see what happens. Q's making a big move down, guys. So I'm going to take a shot here, guys, to bounce back on the day. Some people wouldn't probably agree with this, but I'm just seeing the destruction right now. So I got to take bets to see if I can get this to start to get a nice little pop here. Where's the levels to watch on the UVIX? UVIX, I'll look for a move to 475s. 475s, even up towards $5 could happen today. So I'll be watching, guys. Next level, we're really be into the 470s. So I'll be watching to see if I can handle that and bounce back. Vic saying the Fed talks out there is really affecting things. I'll continue to battle. Check us out, of course, on Twitter, on X. We'll be watching you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I know that a lot of you guys are trying to figure out what's going on in the market. Honestly, it's a mixed battle. But September has always scared me for the downside moves. I've talked about this early on in the week, that at any point this week, we could see a quick dump. We're seeing it right now. The question is, will it bounce back, or will it just be a leak all day long? Definitely a bloody day. But of course, what happened just this morning, I could feel the exuberance, the bullishness in Twitter, in out there on the streets. The bullishness might have got a lot of traders caught. We'll see what happens. Hit the like button. I'll be back tomorrow morning. See you guys next time. And let's keep battling in the markets. There's only one way, team. I'll be back tomorrow.